right, so I just wanted to give a little update on that practice account I was on. I, Matter of fact, let's go to it. So I was on this account and I turned 20,000 into 52,000 in 2 weeks. So back in what was that, March the 14th? And 2 weeks after that, I turned to 52,000. I made a video, but then the following week after that, I turned to 90,000, and then the following week after that, I turned to 200,000. So like I just kept doubling up, doubling up. And there was some big ass moves in the market because of the tariff plan, the negative report on stuff like that. And then now we're in the 90-day cycle of, because Trump had, wanted to pause the tariff idea, whatever the fuck. But then on top of that, we're just breaking and retesting, and it was like all type of shit is happening. It's like the market is super volatile because of it. Then of course, like the regular news that happened, NFP, jobless claims, FOMC, stuff like that. So the market's just been going everywhere, back and forth, up and down. But I was able to capitalize on those moves and turn the $20,000 into $304,000. It was a little higher, 350 something thousand, but losses come with the game. As you can see, like I got like a 1 to 4 risk reward. So if I could lose 4 trades in a row, but that fifth one will bring back all the losses and press a little positive profit. Um, but when I go on win streaks, of course, that's how I'm actually able to double the account and stuff like that. So if I have what a 1 to 4 risk reward and like a 42 to 45% win rate, which checks out to be a profitable strategy, as you can see. But also with that, I'm scaling in with more contracts as I make profit. So I'm only risking profit as I go into profit. So the first 2 weeks I grew that 20,000 into 52,000. I slowly grew it up. So I was taking one contract. Well, I started out tripping. I lost 10% right out the gate. That's, almost like 2,000 some change. Yeah, I was tripping, trying to go 2 contracts, then 4 contracts. Yeah, I was like, just wasn't ready for that. So I was like, all right, let me just go back down. And then I doubled, I went in with 1 contract. I was like, all right, cool, cool, cool. Just to get that profit back, get that balance back to zero as far as of a negative, get back to 20,000 even. And then I was like, all right, let's just get some profit. And that's what we got, well, it was like 24,000 or something like that up in here. And then I took some losses, of course, but they small losses because I'm in 1 contract. And then I was like, all right, cool, let's risk some of the profit. This trade was actually going good, but then I was like, all right, let me just get out of it. And then I eventually got in a good one. So I just do that over and over. So I could lose 4 in a row, but then that fifth one is going to clear up all of those. And then on top of that, more and more and more. And then I'm just doubling the size as I cross 30,000, 40,000, 50,000. So as the time was going on, that's all I was doing. As you can see, I'm risking only the profits. At that time, I was just risking 10% of the original deposit. But of course, I was in like 30,000 in profit at this area, 35,000. So I was only risking profit. And then like banger trades was happening. So I was just seeing opportunities, opportunities, and opportunities. Took some losses up in here straight, but then came back with some fucking bangers, bro. Like what the fuck? Look at this shit. Of course, I got a little risky. After I had cross up in here, it was like 90,000. I was able to jump in on with 15 contracts. So you can see I was starting to grow as far as the size of contracts. I was tripping out right here with the 10 contracts. I think I was only at like 50 something thousand up in here. Um, but then I was like, yeah, let's just risk some of the profit. And I was just like, fuck it, let's go. But as the time goes on, I'm just able to put in big contracts on my ideas. And like I had a win streak up in here. So on this day, on the 7th, we had the tariff plan like reverse basically all that shit. He was just like, we're gonna put a 90-day pause on it. And then Price had went bullish with crazy because it was already down. I seen, matter of fact, let's just go to it. Let's just go to here. Oh yeah, yeah, yeah. So here's the idea. Nah, where is it at? There we go. It's way better. So this was the idea of the tariff plan when we were seeing potentially it was going to break out of this, and I was like, yeah, this is going to drop because if it break through here, we're going to start talking about recession and all that good stuff. But price had broke out of this channel, this bearish flag came back tariff day, the first exact tariff day when he started speaking on it. Boom, hit the retest and then straight dropped, went crazy and broke this low. Um, After it broke that low, then we started seeing like a whole lot of fear in the market. We was talking about all type of recession shit. As you can see, it's like a double top on all time highs. If you can see that, so you got a double top, and then usually on a double top you get the right shoulder. So if you start seeing that break of structure and it goes lower than the neckline of the double top, you'll see a retest. And what retest came with was a bearish flag. And then as you see, this looks like a left shoulder. That looks like the a double top of the head. So price was trending all last year and all bullish, but price in January dropped down, came back up, retest the all-time highs, did not want to break the highs. So guess what? Trump got in office, and we've been bearish ever since. uh, and it's just correcting all that bullish momentum from the past couple years of the what was that shit? C19. Yeah, it was just retesting all these. So we're going to see a lot of bearish structure just getting retest. Well, bullish structure getting retest. So all these support levels to the left, we're just going to see those get retest, break, retest, break, retest. But yeah, so we got the left shoulder over here that acts as the head, and we started seeing this bearish trend, and then we get the bullish flag, which is really like a bearish trap. So um, a lot of buyers was jumping in because oh, it's a discount. Yeah, you got to get fucked. That's exactly what it really is. And then we broke out of the channel, retest the channel, and then tariff plan dump. It was a crazy dump too. Um, some people know how to sell. Some people don't know what to do in the selling market. So let's see. Let's see. I took some losses there. Uh-huh, uh-huh, uh-huh. Oh yeah. So from that 20K to 50, I turned it into 90,000, 90,000 up in here with some buying orders because the market was just showing it. So let's see. But then like that was crazy. I missed out on that. That was like the actual trade that I wanted, but it's all good. We whew, look at that shit. That shit is crazy. Um Yeah, I had missed out on the actual holding itself. I was in it, but I didn't actually hold it for like that long because I got like 1,000 points, and I was like, damn, this shit dropping far. Um, and I caught like 1,000 out of that. It's crazy. We could look at it later, see exactly how many points did it actually fall. And then this is when we caught a good buy on this. What date was this? What date was that? That was the 7th. Yep. So price was rebounding. I caught a good wick on this double bottom. So prices dropped down to the 930, just dropped and then wicked out. So I bought in, and then price went up, of course, right up in here. I was really just trying to see if it was going to close this gap. Price came up, hit the 27. I was like, let me get out. But I did put a buy stop right above this zone just in case it did go up and close that gap. But let's see what happened. Watch this. Check this shit out. So I had closed out of that trade just to have some profit at 115 in the balance of the account. But I had a buy stop order, and that shit went crazy. So I had to buy stop right up in here. I was only risking 100 points, so down up in here, the stop loss is down there. On what is it, plus 500? You don't really get to see the stop loss on the same. chart that your order is on. It's like it's a little weird, um, but it was there. Trust me. Uh, but yep, so the shit just kept flying and flying up. So the first one was what 37,000, and I'm just holding it because it was at a weekly low. I'm gonna show you in a second. It was at a weekly support, you could say. So check this out. And then like the shit just kept going, like shit just kept flying up. So we up like I don't know how many points. I'll count that shit later. So, but it's $100,000 in one trade, and I only had the 115 in there because I had traded from 20,000 to 50,000. Then I doubled that account, almost doubled, 50 to 90. Then the 90 to 115, and then I was just like, let's get a little risky. I was risking, I think like 15,000 in total. No, I was only risking like 7,000 with the buy stop order. Yeah, 7,500 with 100 points of a stop loss. The price never came back down that day. It literally just shot up and just kept going up. No candle that, came back down and wicked or anything. It was just buy stop and just fly. Closed the gap and then I closed the trade. I was like, what? $221,000? Ah, this shit was just amazing. Because I basically was risking some of this profit that day with the buy stop. Because I didn't want to hold and it potentially like turn around on this trade. So I was like, let me just close that. And then like literally 10 minutes later, price just started blasting through um with the tariff plan talk. I'm telling them how one of my students will. And yeah. So, but a couple days after, I missed the fuck out of this trade. This shit went 3,000 points from down at this low. So you can see the double bottom right there. You got a double bottom clear as day, and then the continuation at the 12.4. I'll talk about that shit later. It broke through 38, 61, and 88 with no fucking problem straight to the 127.2. That shit was amazing. That is 3,000 points right there. It went even higher to 4,000 points. That would have been like a $500,000 trade if I actually placed the trade because I would have put like 40 contracts on. Um, and that shit, matter of fact, let me see. Let's count this shit out. Let's go with 3,000 because that's what I saw. 3,000 times 40 contracts would have been $200. That'd have been $600,000 worth of trade if I'd have actually bought into that double bottom idea with 40 contracts. Just risking profit, basically. I would have been risking like 20,000, 20 to 30,000 on that idea of 100 points. So I'm always trying to put my stop loss at 100 points because, like, if I'm wrong at 100 points, that means the trade idea is like completely wrong. Yeah, I'm in the wrong direction. Um, but we all talking about like how the fuck this shit just went crazy. Like, what's this one? Yep, this is US 30 went crazy high on that day. So, but what's this? So I'm at 220,000, 21,000, and I'm just like still going at it. So it broke this low. I'm selling again. Um, 12,000 in profit. What did I close out that day? Oh, yeah, I was just in and out, in and out, in and out. I closed out with like 42,000, 43,000 because it just kept selling. Prices, of course, kept falling. It's in a bearish trend. But that's the win streak. After the 100,000, I'm just like, yo, all right, well, let's just scale up again on the contract size. That's all we're doing. Just scale up on the contract size, take the same type of trades. Um, and then what we got? What we at? Yep. We had $265,000 off from $20,000 on August. I said August, March the 14th. March 14th. All it was this April 10th. Crazy. And then I'm just, still looking for plays, still looking for plays. I'm chilling most of the time. All right, cool. Shout out to him. Um, and then what we get? Yep. So we was in profit on this trade. Another entry of me trying to catch a wick like normal. I like catching wick entries. Um, and it worked out, of course. And then we crossed $301,000 that day. Um, of course, I had what was it? That's 35,000. So yeah. So yep. So that 265,000 turned into that 301,000. I think I closed after that push. Yep, I did. So I closed how many contracts? I closed 20 contracts. And then I kept going. Did I keep going? Yeah, I did. So I lost, what's that, 20? 23,000. And then I'm still getting a little risky up in there. I'm risky, risk on back up to 290, and then ultimately chilled out and just ended that day at 309, 309, well, 300,900 for that time. I missed out on this trade. And did I take this trade? Take some losses? Nope. That's just me talking, telling them. Ended the day with 35,000 overall. And yep, I'm taking some losses. This was a good ass trade. So I saw this building up. It just kept wicking out, came up wicking out. So on the higher time frame, this is the 15 minutes. So on the higher time frame, on the 1 hour, it just wicks. All of this is wicks to the top. It looks even, crazier on a 1 hour and a 4 hour. So I was just like, let me go down to the smaller time frame, go into 15 and get like a good ass entry. And that was a good ass entry. Look at that, 343,000. Oh my gosh. This was the actual idea right up in here. I got in exactly when this candle started falling down because I was like, all right, this candle rejected off the 27 and then closed right here, which is lower than here, of course, lower high, basically rejecting off of if I had put a zone right there, rejecting off of that being a zone. So I waited on a 5 minute time frame and I clipped it exactly at the opening price or the closing price of this green candle. So this opening price came up first 5 minutes, and as it was starting to come down, I just risked the top of that stop as my stop loss. I was like, hey, it's not going to come back up. If it come back up, I'm just wrong. Simple as that, and that's less than 100 points. That was like 75 on that idea, and I was like, it definitely got to go down because if you see the RSI, everything, you can see that the strength was, divergent to the sell side. And that's how I caught that idea. Yeah. So I was in, and that was another $100,000 trade idea. I was like, yo, this shit is amazing. How the scaling is when you do it properly to whatever your strategy is. You do it the proper way, you can scale this shit on a whole different level. So it's $100,000, but I didn't close it. My stupid ass held for too long, and I only closed at $80,000, which is still cool. So that 342,000, and then I go on a losing streak because I'm holding trades for too long. So that would have been 351 if I actually profited that because it was a buy stop order right here. I knew it was going to go up that day. I just got on the charts kind of late. I got on like what fucking after market open when I know I'm supposed to be chilling and actually just watching price before market close. So I closed out with like 2,000 after being at like 10 or 15, whatever the fuck I was, 8,000. I closed out 2,000, and then I'm just ultimately just you know kind of in the wrong direction because I seen that price was struggling to go above there, but I'm like, yo, Fibonacci, why I said it should go up, especially thinking it was going to bounce off the, moving average slash the 50 on the RSI, but it never did that. And I just straight missed out on the opportunity of selling at this price because price tumbled. And what I'm about to show you, I just took some losses, and of course, I gained it back a little bit back. Hold on, I'm gonna show you. Yeah, yeah, here goes some losses right here, 15 and 8,000, and then I was like, yo, let me just get back to 300,000. So I got my account back to 300,000 right up in here. Hold on, let me see. So I was at 295 because I was down like two. I was what? I was just on a crazy losing streak. 295. Yeah, I was down bad. I was down like 60,000, 50,000, 60,000, 80,000 maybe. I don't know. That was over a couple days though. It's like 3, 4 days. Just a losing streak. Uh, so yeah. Losing. And that day, that was the whole 17. And then I capitalized on one. Like the idea I had was there. All these are all buying orders. They was all there. I was like, yo, why does it keep fluctuating and keep pulling back like it want to hit my stop loss? Price had to dip, do one more dip at market open, and then flip and go bullish. So this is what I was talking about. I was in and I was just like, yo, it gotta at least hit the zero. Um, because RSI is super low. The strength was bullish, but I was just like, yo, why did price keep falling back down? So price came back down right here, stopped me out, came up to here, came back down. I took the loss, and then I was like, oh, price might turn around, stop me out, and then I waited. So up in here, I was like, yo, that fucking doji slash spinning top candle looks like it want to reverse. So because we was down here super low on the RSI, so I was like, yo, we gotta find a way to get up in this trade and risk some good management up in here and get our win back, get back to 300,000. So and that's what I did. Took the W when it got back up to the zero. I was like, yeah, I'm done. And I was in 40 contracts, as you can see. That shit was that's a big deal. 40 contracts is $200 per point. 68, 616. Let's see how much that is. 68, 616. Divide that by $200 per point. That is 343 points on that one trade. So, like I said, I can lose 4 trades in a row, but on that fifth one, it'll clean up my losses and give me some profit. So, that's that 17,000, 17 plus 15 is what, 30 fucking 2,000. Then another 8. So that's 40,000 I lost. And then 68 I got back. Yeah, 41,030 332 I lost. 68, which is a 27,000 profit. I'm a beast. I'm pretty good at what I do. I might be wrong on, the timing sometimes, but my idea on the direction is pretty crisp. So that's where I get my 43 win rate from. Because like some days I actually just be hitting, and I'm scaling in. Well, on this idea, I didn't want to scale in because I was already in the red. So I only put that 140 contract in. Well, I put 20 in first, and then I put another 20 in. So I guess you could say I scaled. Um, so on that idea. I just closed out all of it at one time. So that's 40 contracts. Matter of fact, look, check this shit out. That's my entry right here, too. I'm a fucking beast. I don't know how I do it, but I get some good ass entries. Of course, I'm risking 100 points. That's $20,000, but overall, so originally the first one was 10,000. I'm risking the first 20 contract, and then I jumped in again. So on average, the opening rate, that's what that means. That means that on average, uh, that's what my entry is at. Because like my first one was a little bit lower. It's like with inside of this. Oh shit. with inside of this red candle. But then as this green candle starts strengthening, I bought in the other 20 contracts and price turned up. And I didn't want the rest of it. I just took what I can get to be back on that $300,000 side. Cause that's 1,500% gain, bro. That shit is crazy. $304,000. Shit is amazing. Um, but right now, we're just chilling. I'm chilling right there. That's what we ended off at on the 17th of April. So literally 32 days, 33 days from the 14th to the 17th of the following month. That's all it took. It took me 1 month to get $300,000. This is fucking amazing. Um, so anytime I'm like fixing up my strategy or just want to get better at trading overall, I go back to trading on a practice account just to try out the strategy that I'm working on. And this is not like the best win rate because oh look at that win streak. That shit is amazing. Yeah, but not the best win rate as far as like out of all the strategies I got, but it definitely is one of the best when it comes to doubling your account. I double pretty fast because I'm catching big moves. You seen I said 343 points on that one move. Um Shit, let's count out these points. So 106,000. That was a big ass move. That was like some irregular shit that was going on in the market too. So 106,000. Let me just fucking bring out the calculator. 106. What was it? 106,086. Divide that by 16 contracts. So 16 contracts is $80 per point. So we want to divide that by $80. We got 1,323 points in that fucking $100,000 move. Now, that's a rare situation because that was alongside with the tariff news and all that shit. But let's look at this one. This is a five contract and made 12,000 on it. Five contract. Come on, bitch. All right. So $12,602. 12,602 on five contracts. All right, cool. 12,600 divided by five contracts, which is $25. $25, 504 points. Like this shit is amazing. I'm only risking 100 points if I'm like super wrong. And I'm really like I'll close it out before it even get to 100 points negative. That's why you see me click and click and click because I'm like, all right, I just lost 100, like out of $1,000. Like I'm like, all right, cool, $89 because I probably was in profit on that idea, and then the next idea, I was like, all right, fuck it, never lost, and I never lost. So that's still within $1,000 of the idea. If I was risking $1,000, 100 points on two contracts. So I'm just like, I'll just break it up into like five different ideas on one, five different entries on one idea. How about that? Yeah, that's how I'll be doing it. But of course, if I'm in the wrong direction, I'm in the wrong direction, and that's how you end up with like a losing streak. But then when the winning streak happens, that should be fire. That's how you scale up. That's how I scale up. I was in five contracts and I'm getting 9,000, 9,000, 15,000. Then I scaled up to 10 contracts, 20,000, 25,000 on 15 contracts, 100,000 on 16 contracts. Fucking was probably in profit and I closed out let's call it a break even because that's 25 contracts. This is $1,000. That's not even that much many points. Um, but then like when it actually hits, we getting some big numbers. So 22,000 on 20 contracts was like that's probably like $200. I mean 200 points. 220 points or something like that. Matter of fact, let's calculate it. 22,60608. 22,608. 22,608. I was in 20 contracts. That's basically $100. Yeah, $100. Yeah, 226 points on that idea. What's this? 40 contracts. That must be 200 points again. Yeah, like man, 200, 300, 400, 500 points on any of my ideas. I'm losing streak. I can go on the losing streak, so I'm cool with that. With this strategy, is like I'm gonna get this account to $1 million, and then I'm gonna do it with real money. But I want to get this account to $1 million using this strategy over and over. Yeah, the market went up from the market open, but yeah, that's where we at. I'm gonna get this account to $1 million, and then I'm gonna do it live, and I'm gonna be fully transparent too. I'm gonna show this to the public, whatever the fuck. I really don't care. I usually just keep shit in a private group, but I'm gonna just start being a little bit more vocal so people that want to see, want to get involved or whatever, need a little help if they are already involved. I'm here. I got some years under my belt. You know, I've been doing this for a while, and I haven't done a challenge for myself in a while. So this is another reason why I want to get this account to $1 million, because if I get this account to $1 million, then I know I can do it with real money. It's going to be easier. It's going to be less stress on my brain. Because I haven't done it before. So let's do it with the practice account first. You got to actually sharpen the knife before you go and cut the steak. So that's what we're going to do. We're going to just sharpen up on the craft and just run it up. And, but yeah, I'm loving how I'm structuring things this time around. Like other strategies, they cool, they work, but then, the market changed and then now you got to sharpen up and do something else, or it just don't work no more for what the market conditions is. And honestly, I was tripping years before because I was using way more leverage than what this is. Like this is nothing. These contract sizes compared to the lot sizes that I was using in Forex. I'm in futures now, but back in Forex when I was trading Forex, the leverage is crazy. Like you can do a 1 to 100, 1 to 1,000, and that's how I turned um one of my early stages when I turned a little it was really $150. But the company, the broker that I was working with, they matched 100% of whatever you put in. So it was $300 that I had in account as far as leverage. And they had a 1 to 1,000. So every dollar that I put in, they basically matched it. And I was able to put big lot sizes on. And that's how I did it. I scaled that shit within 4 days. I made $2,000 off of it, and I was able to pay my student bill when I was in college. So I was able to go back to school because I took some time off, and I paid my tuition and all that shit with fucking trading, which was fun. So, but now we're here. We're trying to do some mega shit now. I'm trying to be in that millionaire bracket. Um, and we're gonna start from doing it on a practice account. Do the shit, practice, sharpen up on the tools, see what we got. We got some crazy ass moves in the market. We got so much going on, and I'm loving it. So much volume. This is like political wise, this shit is crazy, but I don't want to get too much in that. We just capitalize. That's all we do. We see opportunity in the markets and we capitalize off of it. That's all. It's not our fault that I don't want to say too much. But if you're watching, stay tuned and hit me up with any comments or whatever. I'm always down to have some dialogue and we can do some chit chatting. Matter of fact, I might even do some one-on-ones. Shit, y'all want to hop on? Hop on. I do some one-on-ones. We'll talk this shit out. We'll do some chart analysis and stuff like that. I'm always down for that. I definitely would have bought this if I was paying attention, but I'm recording right now. So what's this? Let's see how many points that is. Just off that candle alone. 200 off that candle with, yep, that 1 hour candle. What's that? The 9 o'clock or the 10 o'clock? Yep, 9 o'clock. Market open. Let's go to the 30-minute real quick. Let's get the separators out the way because I already got the fib up. So look at this. We got a bullish engulfing right here. Of course, respecting this as the higher high, higher low, higher high. That acted as the higher low with the bullish engulfing right before news. I mean, right before market open at 8 o'clock and pushed up. Market head opened up, and all it did was retest that moving average. Let's go to the 15. See, it shot down hard, but stayed above all of that structure to the left, all that consolidation. Tapped it and shot back up. And we are above the 61.8, going all the way to the 88.6. Let's see how many actual points that is from right here to right here. So 325. I would have been trying to catch it just like this. Just about 100 points. Let's just go 100. Literally dead ass on top of there. But that would have been my actual take profit. We got a 1 and 3, 3.2 with 325 points over our 100-point stop loss. And it's above the 61.8, especially because we couldn't catch it at the 38.2. Now now let's talk about the 38.2. If we'd have caught it at the 38.2, stop loss would have had to be down here. Let's just get a zone out. That would have been my idea. Saying if I'm wrong, it gotta go and break below that zone. But holding that, this is how I be catching big trades too. Because if I go in the 4 hour, you'll see a reason why and all that good stuff. But blah blah blah. But that's 628 points. And that would be currently up if we was in that holding the swing about 500 points right off the rip. And this is why I like trading with good size. Like I'm risking. Look at this shit, it's pumping and shit. It's gonna hit it. Um, but yeah, this is why I like trading with good size. So if I miss one or I just lost or I take the quick loss, I got 4 or 5 different entries I can jump in. And I'm just like, yo, I know it's gonna go up. I know it's gonna go up. Like let's say if I was stuck inside of this consolidation and price came back down, and I was just like, fuck it, I'll take the loss. But then I jump in again and price come up and hit the 61.8, I probably would have took the profit just because I know that market open is going to be a little wacky. So price came down, and as it was going back up, that's how I actually be catching my wick entries because I already got a bias and I already got a target that I want to hit. So as it's going up, I'd have been on like the 5 minute or something. I'd have been like, yo, look at that. Boom, wicked out. And that's how I would have jumped in on this candle going up before it actually turned up because I'd have been like, this is the price I want to catch. And price wicked down a little bit. And then as it started turning around on a 1 minute, 5 minute, I'd have been like, yeah, it's breaking this high. So I'd have been jumping in, jumping in, jumping in, scaling in. Price came up. Then I'm moving my stop loss at break even if I feel like, it's in the FE area. But this would be one that I would have just held all the way up to the 88.6. Um, yeah. Of course, I got other confluences and stuff like that. That's why I got multiple charts, multiple charts. Um, so this chart would have told me as far as point wise. Damn, can you load up? So as far as point wise, I got it pre-made at how many points. I don't really want to explain all that because that's too much free game. But all these points are already pre planned out, and they have a reason why they hit each other also. But yeah, Fibonacci is one of my main sources of catching big trades. And not only just Fibonacci on one chart, Fibonacci on all charts, the daily chart, the weekly chart, 4 hour, 1 hour, intraday shit. So, but I think that's a little bit too much information right now. Let me go ahead and end this. I appreciate you guys for paying attention and hit me up. Holla at you.